Great bread is one of life's simple pleasures, but when you're gluten-free, finding a loaf that's soft, flavorful, and satisfying can be a real challenge. Today I'm going to show you how to make a classic white loaf of gluten-free bread 2 different ways. First, we'll make a traditional loaf using Frankie's gluten-free all-purpose flour and simple pantry ingredients. Then, we'll bake another loaf using Frankie's bread mix, a specially crafted blend designed specifically for bread, with many of the key ingredients already perfectly balanced for you. 2 methods, 2 beautiful loaves, and 1 delicious result. So let's roll up our sleeves and start baking. And we're going to start by adding our Frankie's gluten-free all-purpose flour blend right into our bowl. I've got some yeast. It's important to buy the correct yeast, and I've noted the yeast in the recipe at glutenfreeguy.ca. Some sugar, and the sugar is the food for the yeast, and that's going to help it grow and develop and create all those gas bubbles to create the air pockets. Some salt, that's for some flavor. And then we've got some light salad oil. I'm using a canola oil today. And some tepid water. And the reason why you want it to be warm or tepid is so that it can help activate the yeast. So we're going to put this all together and we're going to start beating it up. So I beat this on high for a good 90 seconds, and I wanted to whip lots of air into it. The nice thing with things that are gluten-free is you don't have to worry about things getting tough. You might also notice that this is a very sloppy-looking dough. And the reason for that is there's no gluten to develop. So the gluten has to you have to find a substitute for the gluten. And that is through just it being a little easier for the yeast to develop and grow. Oh, that smells good. Okay, set that aside. So I have a loaf pan with a parchment paper sling. And that's just a piece of parchment paper just to do 2 of the 4 walls, just to help me lift it out when it's done baking. I'm going to scrape down the walls of the mixing bowl. And we're going to scoop this right in. Oops, there we go. I'm getting it all over my fingers. That's done. So now let's just smooth this out. There we go. Just see if I can clean that bit up. So I'm going to set this aside somewhere warm so that it can rise. And let's get on to the next mix. And this one is even simpler because there are just 3 ingredients, which I love. And you don't have to overthink it. Bread making for traditional bakers, it can take like 4.5 hours. This takes maybe an hour and a half tops. And most of it's just sitting around. So you're going to add the Frankie's bread mix. And this has the yeast and the sugar and the salt and anything else that it might need in it. We're going to add our light salad oil and our 2 cups of tepid water. And I'm going to take the same paddle and I'm going to beat this up. And that too was about 90 seconds. We're going to take that off the mixer. And just like last time, we're going to scrape the paddle. Get it nice and clean. I love making bread this way because it simplifies what I have to do. And it allows me to be a bit more creative. So I could add cheese to this, or garlic and cheese, or just garlic, or olives for an olive loaf. And I don't have to worry about forgetting something like a key ingredient. Okay, and I'm scraping down the walls. That looks good. And again, I've got another sling. I'm going to see if I can get this right in. Come on. That's a lot better. Okay, and I'm going to smooth this out. As best as I can. Okay, and this is going to rise for about 20 minutes. And I'm going to try and keep track of which one's which. See you in a moment. So these rose beautifully. They rose for 20 minutes each. This one I had to cut a little bit short of the 20-minute mark because it started to explode, as you can see. Like it's coming over the edges, and I didn't want it to overproof because when it overproofs, then you get really big holes, and you don't want really big holes in your bread. I baked them in my preheated oven of 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius for 40 minutes, and then I cooled them on a cool rack. You can hear they sound nice and hollow. So let's cut into them and see. Oh, that looks beautiful. Look at that slice of bread there. Nice and springy. Oh, a little bit yeasty in smell. Nicely developed, not overproofed at all. And it hasn't collapsed on its own. On itself, I should say. No, that's really, really nice. I'm going to give this a try. Maybe not a whole. There we go. Mmm. Crusty outer edge, soft and chewy in the middle. Mmm. When this was fully cooled, I would slice it right up, pop it in a bag and pop it in my freezer, and then when I want to slice it, pull it out and toss it in the toaster oven. It'll be magnificent. And let's look at the bread mix loaf. It's easier to slice, that's for sure. I can get a much thinner slice. You can see I can get a thinner slice. The crumb is a little bit denser, but everything looks nicely developed. Not as yeasty and smelling. Oh, it still smells really good. Okay, I'm going to take another piece. Mmm. It still has that chew factor that this one has. It's really good. If you're looking for the recipe for either of these loaves of bread, you can visit glutenfreeguy.ca. Thanks for watching.